No negatives. Now, this is one of the most important rules that you have to learn at an early stage. Now, it's important for you to get your point across in a positive way. It doesn't matter if the information is a bit negative, but you cannot disclose any negatives, especially not in the beginning. You're going to justify, you're going to educate, you're going to demonstrate whenever you're ready and in the process of either introducing the options or closing the deal. But in the beginning, you will stay away from any negatives. So let me give you a few examples. Let's say the client's policy got canceled. You're never going to introduce the fact that their policy is canceled. Let's say they don't have a license, so you're going to justify that it may cost them a little bit more. You're never going to tell them, look, since you don't have a license, the rates are going to be higher. Maybe they were involved in an accident, and of course, the policy is going to be completely different than what they were paying before. You're never going to disclose that that accident is going to increase the rates. Simply the activation versus a down payment. You're never going to disclose that they're going to pay a down payment or an initial payment. You're going to keep it very positive. Whatever they ask, if the information that you have to disclose may not be too positive for them, you may not disclose it in a negative way. You always have to put it in a positive way, or at least just address the situation and tell them you're going to give them more information. So for example, if a customer tells you, look, I know I just got 2 tickets last month, is that going to increase my rate? Sir, don't worry. I'm going to make sure to find the lowest option for you. Matter of fact, I have companies that are flexible enough, so those tickets may not even make a difference. But don't worry, I'll give you more information in a couple seconds. So the fact that I know is going to increase the rate, I'm not going to disclose that to them, not in the beginning, simply because if I tell them, yes, you know what, your rate is going to be higher, and I haven't even started my presentation, then that means they're going to tell you, you know what, let me just go somewhere else. Or you planted a negative seed, so all they're thinking about through your whole presentation is my rates are going to be higher, my rates are going to be higher, my rates are going to be higher. And then whenever you're closing the deal, they have that thought and they're constantly thinking about how much more they're going to pay versus listening to you. So they're not going to pay attention to you simply because they're focusing on the wrong area. So once again, it's very important, it's crucial to introduce information in a positive way. You have to rephrase it, phrase it in a way where it's not negative at all, phrase it in a way where it's positive, phrase it in a way where they're going to at least sit down, they're going to be calm, they're not going to consider anything the wrong way, or for them to have an interpretation that they're going to be in a worse situation. So once again, at an early stage, you have to understand that all the information that you're disclosing has to be introduced in a positive way. You cannot introduce anything in a negative way. You have to rephrase it in a positive way. And if there's any information that you have to introduce that's not positive at all, do not introduce it until you're ready to justify it. Now, there's a difference between justifying the information within an adequate process and introducing the information before you're ready. So don't introduce anything negative. You're going to push the client away. You're going to put them in a negative. You're going to create some sort of negative thoughts, those thoughts that were not there, and simply it's going to affect your closing conversation. Now, another example as far as negatives, let's say if the customer is negative themselves, maybe they've been waiting too long, maybe they are not in a good mood, don't introduce anything negative, don't give them a hard time, don't make it worse. You have to at least eliminate that negativity by telling them, look, I appreciate the time you gave us. I know you were waiting for a while. We appreciate the time and the patience and the effort. Don't worry, I'm gonna take care of this situation as soon as possible. I'm gonna do the best to facilitate the process so it won't take too long. So always phrase it in a way that they're gonna take it in a positive way. Once again, don't introduce anything negative, and especially not in the beginning.